let's give this podcast thing a go, but it might actually be harder than I thought a second before we started doing this call.
Oh, yeah? You don't think the walk cleared your drug-addled mind?
I don't even think the Rockstar Punched has brought me, back into focus.
Damn.
Rockstar Punched, guarana, B vitamins, caffeine, taurine, guarana again.
This thing is packed with guarana.
The top of the can says guarana, B vitamins, 240 milligrams caffeine, taurine, guarana.
Whatever amount of guarana we can put in this that would get us in trouble, back it off just a half step from there.
Did I tell you about my my guarana soda supermarket sadness?
No.
I was just enjoying two kinds of guarana soda from the supermarket, and I foolishly believed that they would like have a caffeine or a caffeine effect just because they are guarana, but I think they're just guarana flavored sodas. And so
What?
They didn't have anything like that. It was just soda. I was just drinking soda this whole time.
You're telling me that guarana is a flavor?
I guess it can be a flavor.
I don't know that I've ever known it to be a flavor.
Well, I thought it's a fruit, so it must have a flavor, right?
Oh, it's a fruit?
I thought.
I thought it was like a
dollars
root.
to donuts. I don't know what the fuck that shit is.
I thought it was like a root, like guarana root.
Yeah, you're probably right. That sounds more true.
Guarana. But root beer is root flavored, so you can make a flavor from a root.
Oh yeah, roots have flavors for sure. If you eat a root, you'll taste it.
It's a common ingredient of energy drinks and can be unsafe in large amounts. It contains caffeine.
Says who? The
WebMD.
unsafe part. Oh, WebMD. Oh, okay. So we're just letting the internet tell us what's health now, I guess.
No, but I thought that this would be a good place to see what it is.
Listen,
but it's not. It's not
that
telling
night
me what
that
it
like
is.
me and friends from high school drank like 3 cases of balls. That was fine.
Yeah,
That was fine. We were fine, and we're fine now. And it was a great idea, and I think anyone should do it if they want to.
Literally no one who listens to Run Button regularly would ever say that you're not fine.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Gosh, actually, wow, it feels kind of like my whole life has been leading up to this moment.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like I've been acknowledged and seen. You know,
Okay.
Like I'm fine, and
Yep.
Keith says so.
I say so, and so does everyone that listens, and no
Thank
one is
you.
like,
Nope.
somebody should check on Kylie.
No. Oh, speaking of which. Oh, it's back to Kyle now.
Yeah.
Mostly. I mean, it's...
I wasn't sure, which is why I didn't say Kyle.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot about that.
That's okay. Just quickly leave me out to dry one more time.
Like that?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Kyle again. I mean, I never, like, fully stopped using Kyle completely. I think I kept using it at work for the past couple years. So now it started to be kind of weird to be called Kylie.
Okay.
So now I'm Kyle again.
I mean, even being called Kylie was barely not being called Kyle.
Yeah, obviously I didn't hate the name because I didn't stray very far from it.
Interesting that you didn't hate the name.
Oh, because it's such an unlikable name?
Yeah, it's such an unlikable name,
Yeah.
yeah. Just a bad name.
Yeah, it's fine. I was watching a show the other day that had like an aside about the butt of the joke was basically like, Keith is a stupid name, and I've almost like recorded it and sent it to you.
I've been talking about this. It has picked up over the last like 4 years. Keith has been a name that is like totally off the radar and has slowly become like two different things. One, background characters in anime named Keith for some reason, and then also like comedians using Keith as the name of like an unlikable nerd or jerk or loser.
Yeah, imagine growing up just being like, I have an unusual name. I'm a unique little special boy. And then all of a sudden, the rest of the world's like, did you know there are people named Keith? We fucking hate those people.
We hate that, yeah. I think it might honestly be like, what's a name that everybody knows but nobody has but doesn't feel fake, so that I will not offend
but it doesn't
people.
Sound completely real,
right? Or so that I can make fun of a name that really has no connotation because there isn't a lot of people named it, but it won't offend random people in my audience who like don't get like, oh, I'm calling everyone named Paul a piece of shit.
Right?
Doesn't
you're
actually
like,
say anything about Paul. It's like, hey, my fucking name's Paul.
The odds that there's like more than one person in the audience named Keith are pretty low.
Pretty low, yeah. It has been like total flat for decades in terms of like, you know, being not in the top 100 names, but also not disappearing.
I remember you telling me this years ago, saying like, oh, like our culture seems to think Keith is a bad name, that people named Keith are bad. And I was like, what? I've never heard of that. What do you mean? And then Far Cry 3 came out and I played it, and it had that intro sequence with all the like party bros, and one of them was named Keith, and I was just immediately like, yeah, that fucking guy would be named Keith. Oh shit, Keith was right.
I was right. Yeah, it's definitely been climbing over the past like 4 or 5 years. I'm very surprised when I started seeing it as just like random people in the background of anime being named Keith. That's a weird
here, that
pull.
was so fast.
What was here?
Sorry, I ordered Domino's. It got here really fast.
Domino's.
Yes. Yeah, you know, it's cheap.
It's not.
It's not that cheap, is it?
No.
It's a little yeah, okay.
There's only one. If I was like, if you got McDonald's, I was like, McDonald's, and you were like, it's cheap. Like that would be like, it's still not that cheap, but I get it. Like
still not
you can
that
get a
cheap.
bunch of food for it's not the best stuff that they've got. You get a bunch of food for like $8 or $9.
Did you hear about the newly created Big Mac Index?
Oh, I know about the Big Mac Index. Yeah, yeah.
The buying power.
Is it newly created? I thought it was like 10 years old.
Is it? Probably.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, are you like, how many hours of minimum wage work does it take to buy a Big Mac?
Right. And yes, yeah.
This was a completely mind-blowing fact to me, that it was something like
the Big Mac's index has been published since 1986.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So I think in 1986 when they started it, it was like 1 hour of work could buy, sit down, strap in. It could buy 6 Big Macs.
Yeah.
You could feed a family for a night with 1 hour of minimum wage work,
right,
and a trip to McDonald's. And now you cannot buy 1 Big Mac with an hour of minimum wage work.
I've been on this 4 years. I mean, obviously the Big Mac Index people have been on it since 1986. But they're not talking about the Big Mac Index all the time, I don't think. But like,
this is an incredibly important metric that we should all be talking about all the time.
I think that's basically true. Because it's at the point. I mean, this is not economics. This is just like McDonald's is like a feasible, but it's like, also restaurant like, to go to.
It's also like an extremely stable option. Like, it makes so much sense. Like, it is from a commercial business, but it is like totally ubiquitous, and it also hasn't really changed in terms of like what the actual food is that much over time.
Yeah.
So it is actually like a really, really good like metric for buying power.
But it's also like, because, I have to make real decisions about what food I'm going to be eating. And sometimes the thing is like, oh, I just need something cheap to eat. And I can't or don't want to cook tonight.
Yeah.
And like,
maybe
McDonald's
like
is now
you're
not part of that conversation.
Maybe your cousin calls you out of nowhere and says you have to do a podcast tonight, and so
Right.
you need to order Domino's.
But McDonald's is cheaper than Domino's. It's also better than Domino's.
Barely. I mean, yeah, kinda.
But it's way better is the thing. It's cheaper barely, but way better.
Okay, but hang on. Have you tried the loaded tater tots yet, though?
No, but we're talking potato products, and you're gonna come at McDonald's with loaded tater tots over their fries.
But they put Alfredo sauce and cheese on the tater tots, Keith.
I think that I wouldn't like that. I think that a
What?
tater tot is maybe the worst of the fried potatoes.
I'm not as big on tots as some other people in our community, but I still appreciate them, and I have respect for what they bring to the table on occasion.
What is our community?
Our community, the community of humanity on Earth.
Oh, okay.
And some people of our community, our human community, they really like tater tots. And I'm not here to tell them that they're wrong. I am here to make sure that they're conscious of their cholesterol. But other than that, I think they should go with God. Hopefully not to heaven prematurely because of a clogged artery, but follow your heart.
Right.
Again,
it's just so obvious to me that a fry is better than a tater tot.
Again, follow your heart. Don't
Don't
let plaque build up in the heart.
Let's not talk about people dying from heart attacks from eating tater tots, which I think
Oh, sorry. This is a sensitive subject. I forgot. Keith's dad died from eating too many tater tots.
That's not too true. My dad died from getting COVID and trying to run a marathon, and also maybe cocaine. But I think a tater tot is probably the healthiest potato choice in terms of fried potatoes.
What do you mean?
Well, most tater tots are frozen and baked.
Well, wait, no, they're not baked. Well, I mean, they're fried. They're fried first. They're not baked. They're actually worse because I think they have more crevices because of how they're reconstituted, like, of chunks of potato. So the oil gets way in there. And
You
so,
think so?
probably
But the fry
when
has more surface area because it's so much smaller.
No, the tater tot has way more surface area because of all of its nooks and crannies. I guarantee you that when people say that tater tots are their favorite fry thing, it's probably because they have the most oil per, square inch of all the fried potatoes.
But then explain why tater tots are always so bland. I've
they
never
so bland?
tasted. Yeah, the tater tots are terrible. I mean, it's like, what if we had a fry that didn't taste good and was too potatoey? I mean, it's really a terrible choice.
I have to say, all of our listeners from Oregon and Idaho, they're all switching off right now.
I don't know. I mean, I would love to hear someone who thinks they've had a tater tot better than a French fry.
Yeah. Shit. I was going to say sound off in the comments, but a lot of this is... but if you're listening on YouTube, sound off in the comments.
Yeah. If you're listening on your RSS feed, just go on Twitter or co-host or something.
No.
Message me. You can't message me on co-host. Oh, you can put it in the ask. Put it in the ask.
No. If you're listening on your podcast app, I want you to tell us what you think about tater tots in a 5-star review of this podcast on iTunes.
Oh, that's fun.
Give us a 5-star review and tell us what you think about tater tots.
Oh, we haven't told
French
anyone
fries.
to give us a 5-star review on iTunes in years, I think.
Do it. Oh,
do it.
It's not even called iTunes anymore. It's called Apple Podcasts now. That's how long it's been.
That's how long it's been. Eventually, I'll keep in mind the tater tot thing from Domino's, but there's no way. I mean,
again, I have my things that I like at Domino's. The thing I will not ever order from Domino's is their tomato sauce. They have
it's really bad.
The absolute audacity to call this shit Robust Inspired Tomato Sauce. That is its real name.
It's inspired by Robust?
It's Robust and Inspired.
Oh, okay.
It is
inspired by Robust tomato sauce.
What it's inspired by is the pizza Lunchables pizza sauce,
Yes,
because that is
that.
exactly
Yeah,
what
it
it
is.
tastes like.
Yeah. It's
And that's
super
not
sweet
a
and
compliment.
sugary,
Yeah.
but it's also sour, like from like
Yeah.
unripe tomatoes. It's really bad. It's really
the
bad.
absolute worst. It's like ketchup. It's like chunky old ketchup.
I do eat that because the only thing that I like at Domino's is the cheesy bread. And they give you that horrible sauce to dip it in.
Yeah,
and I will dip it in that
it's
sauce.
so fucking bad.
Yeah, but
No,
I will,
dude, you know you got to dip it in ranch. Get the ranch.
No,
or the
no,
buffalo.
No, those are no.
What I think is really interesting is Domino's charges the
Domino's
same-
Ranch. Hold on, I gotta go back. Domino's Ranch is an even worse version of ranch than their tomato sauce is of tomato sauce.
Oh, that's not even close to true. That's an insane thing to say.
That
I'm not
is
going to have this argument. with you.
offensively bad ranch. I just cannot stand it. Oh my god, it's really, really bad.
Okay, that's fine. What I think is interesting about Domino's sauce cups is that they charge the same amount for all of them. But I saw the order form that managers order the products from, and it shows the cost. And it makes sense. Like, the buffalo sauce is by far the most expensive sauce, and the cheapest sauce is barbecue sauce because it's just sugar. And
Blue cheese?
Blue cheese, probably up there.
Yeah.
Probably one of
I
the
would
more
think that.
expensive, yeah.
I'm surprised at the buffalo because you say, the buffalo sauce, of course, is the most expensive, but it's just vinegar and peppers.
And cayenne peppers. But
Yeah.
but barbecue sauce is what? Sugar and
tomato.
seasoning?
It's ketchup with
it's ketchup.
It's ketchup with mesquite.
Yeah. it's ketchup and
sugar
friends.
and, yeah.
It's
And vinegar.
and vinegar.
Here's a tip.
We're not forgetting the vinegar.
Do you want a tip?
Okay.
This is a hot tip. Okay.
Ooh.
Here's how you get good barbecue sauce.
Oh, we never did an intro.
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Here's how you get good barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Buy a
Yeah.
bad barbecue sauce from
Yeah.
the store
Yeah.
and just add some white vinegar to it.
Yep.
Boom. Now your barbecue sauce
Now-
is phenomenal.
Now you're cooking with gas.
I even Kraft Original use 2 tablespoons and replace those 2 tablespoons with white vinegar, and now it's good.
Better. But you don't have to. You don't have to subject yourself to that.
What do you mean?
There's never a good reason to buy Kraft barbecue sauce. That's fucked up.
Honestly, once you add the vinegar, it's one of the better sauces.
But there's already better sauces.
Well, sure, you can buy some Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yeah, but I feel like we could even. We can think a
This is-
little
I'm talking
bigger.
I'm talking about grocery store. Your options are limited. You go to the grocery store. What do you got that's better than Sweet Baby Ray's?
Well, it depends on the grocery store, I guess. But certainly, it's very possible that Sweet Baby Ray's is going to end up being your best option.
It is a
America.
good sauce. It's not just a meme. It is a good sauce.
It's true. I remember a time when I first had that sauce, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the good sauce.
It is the good sauce.
There's better sauces out there, but for
sure.
supermarket.
Again, but not at Market Basket.
But there could be. There's a lot of sauces at Market Basket.
Yeah, but but how many companies do they represent? 2?
I don't know.
3? So I think your options are limited. You don't have it. You're not in an environment
you might
conducive
have
to
Stubbs.
people
Probably
with
have
Stubbs is too sweet. I would prefer to dilute Kraft Original than Stubbs.
Wow.
Yeah. You're not in an environment where people are making barbecue sauce because they're passionate about barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
So you're really just looking for what is the least amount of work I have to do to get this to be good.
Maybe it's easier to get good barbecue sauces in the South.
Probably, because there's barbecue places that make their own barbecue sauce.
Well, true, but I mean, I bet even at the supermarket, they might have to step up their game based on what people are buying.
Maybe, but I don't think. I think we live in a country where people are buying total dog shit, low quality products, coast to coast.
That's certainly
coast
indisputable.
To coast. Yeah. So I think in the same way that how old people are still kind of impressed with the microwave, and it's like it cooks it so fast, and it's like, yeah, but it only makes garbage. Caveat: you can use a microwave in ways that's good, but
it certainly has its uses.
It has real uses that aren't just to make garbage. But in the same way, it's like I just think that there's this thing where you go to this, it's like, oh my god, all these sauces. I'd much rather have 25 different of the same shitty barbecue sauce to pick from than to go to an extra store just to buy nice sauce.
Oh my god, what am I just go into a store just for sauce? What am I gonna do next time? Go into a place just for vegetables? Are you out of your mind?
So I could be wrong, and maybe there's like one or two good local brands that people will tell us about. But I'm gonna say that a Stop and Shop in a barbecue state is still going to have total horseshit barbecue
Oh, yeah.
sauce.
I mean, it'll still have the Kraft and the Sweet Baby Ray's and maybe Stubbs or something. But, there's local brands. I'm sure we probably don't have a lot of good local barbecue sauces up here.
Yeah.
Certainly not vinegar-based ones.
Sure. Well, that's enough on sauces.
That is enough on sauces. Wow. That just came out of nowhere.
Kylie, I want you to, I'm giving you homework.
Okay. Oh?
Why don't you home make some ranch?
I hate homework. Home make some ranch.
Home make some ranch. Home make some ranch.
I don't, listen, let's put it this way. I don't need to go giving myself reasons to have like 2 cups of ranch to consume. Right? Like, I think I'm good. Certainly a homemade ranch.
I don't think 2 cups of ranch is going to break you. Home make some ranch. Do it for me.
I mean, I've had
do it for yourself.
But I'm fine. Like, I'm not eating that much ranch, so I don't need my mind blown by good ranch.
Okay. I'm hearing that you're dipping all sorts of nonsense into
like the number one thing
ranch.
the number one thing I'm putting ranch on is like on the rare occasion that I have like a chicken patty. So I'm already eating garbage, like total garbage.
Hey, that's protein.
Yes, that is. You are correct. That is protein, and no one could say that it isn't.
Mm-hmm. Look. I'm just saying, keep it in the back. Keep that tucked into the back of your mind.
Oh,
He'll make some ranch.
Yeah, it's in there. Well, the Hidden Valley packets you're talking about?
That's what I'm talking about. Make some Hidden Valley.
That's the original ranch, baby.
Is that true? Did they invent ranch?
That's why it's called ranch, because it was the Hidden Valley Ranch dressing. They made it there.
Let's talk. Okay, well, I'm done with sauces.
Okay, yeah, I'm done with
something
sauces
else
too.
to me.
What you been playing? Hey, everybody! This is a video game podcast. We're here to talk about video games. What you been playing? Keith, what you been playing?
I've been playing Yakuza. Still working through those Yakuza games.
Oh, sorry. Do you mean Like a Dragon?
Hey, I load up my games. They say Yakuza 5 on it.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing.
So, long-time listeners will know that I've been slowly working through the Yakuza games.
Real heads know about
me working through Yakuza. When I got my Series X, they put all the Yakuza games on Games Pass. So I replayed Yakuza 0 and Kiwami 1 with Isaac. And then played 2, and then 3, and then I recently finished 4, went straight into 5. The only roadblock here
I can't wait to know what comes next.
The whole roadblock here sorry, the only roadblock here was 3. Wow, what a miss. That game is not good.
Woof.
It's really slow and definitely the worst written. And it's right on the edge of like where it's new enough that all the issues with it seem extra annoying. And the fact that it's like there have not been any real quality of life improvements in the game's lifetime.
Like since 1 or something.
Right. It's sort of our Silent Hill issue where it's like there's all these problems with like how this game is made that make it kind of hard to engage with properly. Like you're supposed to stab the ghosts, but if the stabbing the ghosts mechanic doesn't really work. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Nothing that bad.
Right. Nothing will ever be that bad. Because
nothing will ever be that bad. But it's just like, yeah, like I'm just doing all this stuff that feels kind of antiquated in 3. 4, I blazed through and actually have the lowest completion rate of any Yakuza game to date, where I'm normally going somewhere like 40 to 80% completion rate. But because Yakuza 4 has this like 4 protagonists thing where it's like you play one chapter as one character.
And is that
another
that's
chapter
not in
character.
3? You're only
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's sort of I think led to me missing a bunch of side content.
Okay.
And by the time I got to the end, I was like kind of surprised to find myself at the end of the game. And I was just like, well, let me just end the game and not do this side stuff.
I've got a Yakuza 5 to play.
Right. I might go back, look at a list of like, hey, whose side stuff is the best? I'll go do that. I think I ended it with like a 15% completion rate, which is outrageously low. Considering that I actually put 30 hours into the game. Sorry, we gonna ask them?
Well, I was gonna say, do we have any highlights in terms of side activities that you've experienced in these Yakuza games you've been playing?
Yeah. So this isn't gonna be a huge shocker, but Yakuza 0. The both characters, both Majima and Kiryu's side stuff is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the main side thing that you do as each of them is the for Kiryu it's the like real estate stuff, and for Majima it's the hostess club. Especially the hostess club, those are a blast.
Oh, I know those are good. I guess I more meant from 2 onward, like the ones that I don't know about yet.
So
I don't care about what the listeners know about.
Yakuza 1 brings back two onwards. Let's see. God, I played 2
Nothing
a year
will
and
ever
a half
top
ago.
the slot car racing, but
1 brings back the slot car. Kiwami 1 has a second chapter to the slot car racing, which is amazing. 4, which I just finished, has you play as Majima's sworn brother, Saejima, and he gets sort of roped into being the trainer at a martial arts like dojo that is terrible. And you have got to train up these horrible fighters to have them go into the ring at the at like Majima's like his like underground
fight club.
His fight club. Or I guess it's not his fight club, it's just where his apartment buildings are. It's actually I guess the
fighting ring.
The florist, the like information broker. I guess it's his fight club. Actually. And so you train them up in a bunch of ways, and you have to keep their like mood and how much they like you up also. And then you sort of are hands off watching them, like watching the AI fight another AI. That was really fun. I like that a lot. There's also in 5, you drive a taxi. Kiryu sort of like in hiding as a taxi driver.
Kiryu can drive?
He not only can drive, but there's a sort of combination side story series where you're both giving people rides around town and following their like weird personality types to give them the kind of ride they want. You know, Crazy Taxi?
The kind of ride they want.
Right. You know Crazy Taxi?
Yeah.
It's just like
what's
Crazy
that?
Taxi, except it's Sane Taxi. You have to follow all the rules. So it's Kiryu playing very normal taxi. But you pick up a driver.
It's time to make some reasonable money.
Are you ready, kids? So it'll be like this person like really wants someone to talk to. So like you'll have to correctly answer conversational QuickTime events while obeying the rules of the road. And you know, and it's like everything. It's like stopping at the right spot at a stop sign, like not just at it, but you have to stop before the line. You have to use your turn signals. You have to not accelerate too fast. You have to not turn too fast. You have to not brake too suddenly.
Oh my God, this sounds like driving. I hate it.
It is just like driving. It's actually much harder than driving. It's like way harder than actually driving.
Great.
And or it'll be like this person like really wants you to go fast, but you can't go too fast. This person
do any of the passengers want to go to the first Levi's store?
Actually, so far every single one of them, yeah. Except one person wanted to go to the KFC.
Thank you. Okay, that's what I was worried about.
Yeah. So there's those, and then the same sort of sub-story group also has you racing against a like street race gang called the Devil Killers is what they're called. So you've got to beat the Devil Killers in races to soup up your car to beat better Devil Killers in races, but then you're driving your souped up car around as a taxi.
That sounds awesome.
I have this outrageous racing car that I'm driving people around in. It's very funny.
That sounds better than the main game, honestly.
That is how the Yakuza sub-stories go.
Yeah, I guess
it's sort of like I want Kiryu to be taking these silly tasks as seriously as he takes the life and death situations where, you know, it's normal stuff. Kiryu has to beat the shit out of everyone in the Tojo clan in order to save the Tojo clan.
Yep. It always makes sense. It makes sense to me.
It makes sense to me too. I really enjoyed 4. Best new character, Akiyama. He was great. Honestly, some of the best stuff in a Yakuza game was like getting to know Akiyama in 4. I'm pretty sure he's in 5 as well, so I'm excited for that. He's he was a homeless guy who during the events of Yakuza 1, when the bomb goes off at the top of the Millennium Tower and it rains money all over Kamurocho.
Oh, right.
He made the start of his fortune collecting that money off of the ground, and now is a literal billionaire.
What?
But what he does with his money is he finds people that he likes and gives them interest-free loans to fund their lives. He's the best. I don't understand him or why he's like how he is, but he's very cool. And the like early scenes of him interacting with some Yakuza who he had funded is some of the best stuff in the game. I really love in Yakuza when they have a character who like really sort of understands the minutia of their weird attitudes, at least as they've written them. You know, I don't know anything about actual Yakuza. I just know the fake ones on the TV.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's really what I've been playing. I've been playing MLB The Show again.
Nice.
Yeah. I played Star Rail.
Star Rail?
Yeah, the turn-based RPG from the Genshin Impact people.
Turn-based RPG?
Yep, it's turn-based.
Oh my gosh, then this is going to be a tricky situation because longtime real heads will know fucking Keith, what was I saying? He doesn't like turn-based RPGs.
I don't like turn-based RPGs.
Sorry, I'm not a real head, so it was hard.
It was
for me
hard
to
for
pull
you
it.
to get it out, yeah, because of your how fake of a head you are.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I don't want to keep playing it. I don't want to be playing it, and I am. So I guess
Why?
that means that it's good.
Why
Because
you
I don't
don't?
like turn-based RPGs, and I don't like gotcha games. But it's good. It's fun. Genshin's biggest problem is that there's basically no main character. There's a guy that you play as, or a girl, and they're in all the cutscenes, but they don't say anything. And instead you have Paimon as the sort of main character avatar.
Yeah.
And obviously she's annoying. I think that people are
Divisive
kind of
character.
insane about how much they hate Paimon, but she's not good.
I don't. No one's ever been insane about Paimon. I don't think.
But in this one, the main character actually has a personality, and the personality is very funny and weird. I like her a lot. And the writing and like general plot are interesting enough that Star Rail's good.
What's the rail?
The rail
Is there a train?
is
Tell me there's a space train. I heard
there is
Star
a
Rail
space
and I was
train.
like,
yes, you do
fuck
fly
yeah.
around in a space train, and
Sick.
it's a literal space train, but also a metaphorical space train.
Oh shit!
Because
We all have a space train in our hearts.
there's a bunch of space gods, and each one of them represents an aspect of like personality,
Of
like
the train.
no, not of the train. The train
This
is
one's
just one
the
of these
smokestack.
gods.
This one's the brakes.
No, the train is just one of the gods. So like one of them is like destruction, and he's got to go around destructing, and that's all that he can do.
Ugh.
And then there's I'm blanking on the other ones, but there's a whole side plot about it. There's like the hunter. It is like the archetypes are there, also the classes kind of. So like the train is one of the gods, and it's the god of like exploring, but it's sort of stuck.
Nice.
They're all stuck on these rails. It seems
As
like this is what it
trains
seems
tend to
like.
do.
Well, they're not all trains. Only one of them is a train.
Right.
But they are.
But it would make sense that the one that's a train would be stuck on rails because
Right, but they are all sort of stuck doing their like weird destiny. Like the destruct, he has no free will in
Right.
how he destructs. He just like is on the destruction path, and we're on the exploring path. And these people are like,
does the destruct? Do they really not have any control, or is it just like they don't?
that's sort of what it
want
seems
to
like.
have control.
But the space, so it's sci-fi, but the space is like full of like religious zealots who are like seemingly fully ideologically dedicated to one of these gods.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who are on the train are on the path that the train person was on.
Right.
And they go around on this path, sort of helping people along the way. But you run into a bunch of different religious zealots who believe in some different kind of thing about the god that they follow. And it's very weird. I like it. I think it's good.
Cool. All right. Yep, I'm looking at pictures. That's definitely a bunch of anime people.
Oh yeah, and it's a bunch of anime
train.
people.
There's cool looking train.
It is
Won't lie. Won't lie, pretty cool looking train.
Pretty cool looking train,
All
if I
right.
do say so myself.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I heard Star Rail. I thought space train, but then I also thought there's no way it's really going to be a space train. But look at this fucking thing.
Yeah, it's a space train.
It's just a train
You
and it's in space. What can I say?
You play a something kind of character who knows who or where you came from, but you were awakened by I will broadly call a crew of terrorists who seem to know you, and for some reason they put a kind of, well, they call it the cancer of destruction.
Oh.
But they put into called a Stellaron. They put this Stellaron thing inside you. At first, it seems like maybe it's like a bomb, like a big, like galactic destroying bomb. But then there's a Stellaron that you find on a planet that is just like, oh, it's just turned this planet into a nightmare for the last like 600 years. So you are some sort of horrible war crime machine.
Oh,
now.
no.
And the reason that you're hanging out with the train people is that they have a lot of experience with sort of handling the Stellarons. So you're also kind of in a cat and mouse with this terrorist crew who seem to know you, but also put this thing inside you for some reason. That is like the main plot, I guess, of the game. It is interesting. So yeah, some decent sci-fi stuff going on in there.
Does the turn-based suck? What is it?
It's fine.
Okay.
And not only, so I would say it definitely doesn't suck, and it's really fast. There's actually a button to like quadruple the speed if you want. There's even a button to auto combat if you really want. I've never really done that.
Wow.
So you could be a sort of partially AFK player of this game.
Yeah, that's how you know you're really in deep, when you don't even want to play the game.
Yeah. My favorite game is not playing Star Rail. But yeah, the turn base is not super complicated, but it is fun enough, I guess. It's not been very difficult so far. But I'm in it for figuring out what's going on in the story mostly. Nice. But the fighting has not been an impediment, and going in and doing the little things that these kinds of games want you to do every day has not been too big of a deal. So that's where I'm at with Star
does
Rail.
this seem like a completely different type of story in its scope than like Genshin Impact, or does it feel like they're taking what they've learned about how they tell stories in Genshin Impact now and bringing it back to like the very start of the game, where maybe like in Genshin Impact, like I think you've said like the narrative is kind of like not awesome in like the base game or something?
Yeah, in the first area, the narrative is not awesome. There's like some stuff from the first like 20 or so hours that I like, that they've expanded on and that I continue to like. But they've definitely gotten much, much better as time has gone on. Their recent Chinese New Year event called Lantern Rite is always like a big not like main story thing, but like character development thing. And that was like genuine. This year in Genshin was like genuinely really good. Some of the best stuff that they've done ever. And I think they've taken what they've learned and been able to make a game that was interesting right from the beginning, which is great. Good for them. It feels bigger in scope, but only because it's in space.
Oh, sure.
It's actually a lot less open of a game because it's like turn-based. It's very like funnely. Okay. So in a lot of ways, the like actual minute-to-minute scope of the game feels tighter, even though you're exploring the universe. You spend a lot of time exploring the one planet that we're stuck on,
right?
It's narrow series of hallways and stuff, but it's fun. It's good.
Cool. I just had my vacation from work last week, and I decided that I would take a vacation not just from work, but also from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and I would just play something totally different.
Oh no, I gotta get back to Zelda. I forgot about Zelda.
Yeah, me too. So I also haven't been back to Zelda since my vacation ended either. But I kind of just wanted to, escape into even a thing I wasn't even playing before the vacation and try to like really get away from things mentally. So I spent most of that week playing like Pikmin 2 on the GameCube and Metroid Prime Remastered. And Diablo 1, not the new one.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
I've always loved Pikmin from afar.
Okay.
Because I didn't have a GameCube, so I didn't play Pikmin 1.
Yeah.
I didn't play Pikmin 2.
Makes sense because you didn't have a GameCube.
And I didn't play Pikmin 3.
Because you didn't play the first two.
Because I didn't play the first two. But I'm pretty sure that if I jumped right into Pikmin 3, I wouldn't be confused. Little guy has to ferret around littler guys in a lemming style semi-slaughter to get himself back home.
Yeah. Well, actually, Pikmin 3, it doesn't have your typical guy. It's got 3 new people in there.
Okay.
Kind of
little?
lame. Oh, they're little.
You miss Olimar?
But, they just put out a Pikmin 1 and 2 bundle on the Switch, baby.
Well, this is sort of what I'm saying.
The time's never been better.
If I were to play just one Pikmin game as potentially the only Pikmin game to ever play, should I start at the beginning? Or should I start with like one of the updates because it's better and more fun as like its own thing?
That is an interesting question. I don't have as much experience with the new ones because I just played like 3 once when it came out, and I put like I like bought Pikmin 3 Deluxe on the Switch, like 2 months ago and never played it or something, and now I'm suddenly like, oh well, I guess maybe I should play that. So I put a little time into it. It didn't blow me away. There's like a specific it's it's a little nitpicky, but like I really liked what the right stick did in the first 2 games, which was like they kind of controlled all the Pikmin at once, so you could move the stick around and you kind of like had your little crowd of Pikmin run around, and you could use that to like make them run into stuff and attack stuff. But of course now the right stick controls the camera, so it can't do that anymore. So that feature's like gone. And I think that's kind of annoying.
So you can't control all the Pikmin at once?
Instead, they give you like a charge button. Like you say charge, and then all the Pikmin like run forward where you're pointing them. Though it's it's not as nuanced. You can't just put like the side, just a little bit of the Pikmin cloud on the thing or something.
Huh.
But mostly, I mean, of course, like I really like the first 2 because I have nostalgia for them, and of course, they were the first ones I played because they were the first ones that existed. But you like old games too. You were you were alive when those games came out,
and I admired them from afar. I always wanted to play Pikmin.
I think Pikmin. The thing about Pikmin 1 is it's like the hardest one because you have to find 30 pieces of his ship, and you only have 30 in-game days to do it. And as a kid, that seemed insurmountably difficult. But now, as an adult, I realize, like, oh, you just reload your save if you have a bad day. Like if you're looking for you just use one day to find the piece, then you reload your game and go and get it. And I think that's how they expected you to play the game, and I just didn't realize that at the time. But ever since then, the game has been kind of like waffling back on forth of like, are we eliminating the day limit completely, or are we bringing back like a kind of softer day limit, or are we like, or maybe the game isn't even, I think Pikmin 4 might not even have any kind of time-based mechanic at all. I'm not sure. Like it might not even have a day cycle. I don't know about that. But
is there a narrative explanation for why there's a day limit?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's literally like Captain Olimar is going to run out of his version of oxygen.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, sure.
And then the second game, there's no day limit because it's not like an emergency. They're just there to collect treasure to pay back pay back the company's debt of the company that Captain Olimar works for. He's just tasked with doing that. And then when you pay it back, you see Olimar's boss like in the sky, like with a tear coming out of his eye.
He's so happy because of all the money.
Like a wistful anime ending where you're like, oh, my boss, he's so happy that the debt is repaid.
Good job, Olimar.
Thanks, Olimar.
Who's the second guy in Pikmin 2? There's a second guy.
Louis.
Olimar and Louis.
Olimar, because the Pikmin kind of spun out of a Mario-based tech demo that they did called Mario 128, where there was 128 tiny Marios. And so they rearranged the letters and added an L, and that makes Olimar. That's kind of like Mario. And then he gets a Luigi, who's Louie, who's also skinnier than him and is dumb.
Thank God.
Though, of course, they added that character because they were going to put co-op in the game, but then they ended up cutting that feature, so now there's just 2 playable characters for no reason.
Oh, I thought there was co-op.
No.
Maybe I just assumed because of how there's Olimar Louie.
You would.
I thought that was the whole thing of Pikmin 2. But it must be the whole thing of Pikmin 3.
Maybe. I think there's definitely co-op in the Switch version. I think. I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely been a major disappointment of those Pikmin games. I was bummed out about it for a long time. I'm kind of over it now, but it would have been cool if there was co-op.
It's good that you're over that there's no co-op in Pikmin 2.
Yeah,
that would
I'm
be
over
a rough
it now.
thing to hold on to.
Kind of moved on. I've really, time heals all wounds.
Right.
That's not true. But
time heals all wounds. Time heals most wounds, but one of those wounds is a 19-year-old
Pikmin,
wound about co-op in Pikmin 2.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific Pikmin stuff to talk about?
Nah, I had
or
fun
talking
playing
about one of your
Pikmin
other
2.
games?
Metroid Prime Remastered is out on the Switch. It's like, it's Metroid Prime from the GameCube, but they updated the graphics.
I heard when that game came out, this is like a month or 2 old at this point.
I think so, yeah.
I saw an endless stream of people being like, we were right, Metroid is so good. Metroid Prime's so good. I can't believe how good this game still is. Is that how you're feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I've played it a number of times, so I'm not like, oh my god, I'm surprised that it's good, because I knew that already, but yeah, I'm having fun with it. I actually am maybe almost like a little bit in the opposite direction, where I think of it as being so good that the kind of like rough edges kind of like bother me a little bit, like, oh, I forgot about this enemy that's really annoying.
Right.
But I mean, in general, it's really good.
The attitude of someone who's played Metroid Prime multiple times between its release and now, not someone who played it and was blown away decades ago and is playing it again for the second time.
Right. I'm long on the record as being pretty anti-graphical updates for games.
Yeah.
But it totally looks good. They do a really good job with it. So no real complaints there. They even, some of the stuff that ends up being kind of ugly in the original game looks better in this one.
Well, that's one of the insidious things about graphical updates is that they're hard to argue against. Because once you have them, you're like, oh, well, it does look good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes genuinely, in the recent past, there have been some games that received graphical updates that like, it was like they looked good in quotes, where it was just like they just have like complex art effects, but like
see
it doesn't.
Our Let's Play of Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition.
Sure, but they can often make a lot of artistic, disappointing choices. Let's say, in how they do the style or whatever.
Oh, hold on.
What?
I thought you were saying they can often make like advancements in like technically looking better, but that still don't even look good. So I was not trying to compliment Halo there. I was trying to.
No, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Right.
But I don't think this is a case like that. I do think it is a case where Metroid Prime looks like basically the same but better, which is good. Maybe there's like a couple nitpicks here and there, but who cares? The other really cool thing about it is it has a ton of control options. It has like kind of more modern like dual analog controls, because the original game was like a GoldenEye style one stick first person shooter where you held R if you wanted to stand in place and look around, and you had a lock-on button on L, which was really useful.
This is why the only version that I thought was any good was the DS version.
Oh, Metroid Prime Hunters?
Yeah, where you could use the screen to look and shoot.
That sucked.
It's better than GoldenEye style single stick.
Well, I know it sounds bad, and certainly
And it is.
If you were like me and like you had played Halo and then you play Metroid Prime, you're like, oof. But it just, it was obviously designed around those controls, and it was designed well, and it had this kind of like, it just gave Metroid Prime like this unique kind of vibe and how it moved around. That's like really hard to explain, but it just felt kind of unique moving around the environment. And then, the modern controls kind of destroy that, which a new player won't care about. But it's a little disappointing. But they do have the classic controls if you want to do a one-stick thing. You can even plug in the Wii U GameCube adapter and use a real GameCube controller, which is really cool. And you can do 2 Joy-Con Wii-style controls where you have a pointer on the screen and the arm moves all around and it makes the game harder for no reason. That's pretty cool. And they have what they call hybrid controls, where it's like mostly like the GameCube controls, but a little different. And they give you, it's like still single stick movement, but they give you gyroscope aiming. So that's really nice, because I like that. So you tilt the controller to look around.
I like that.
I actually the control options are so good, it's almost annoying because I can't totally commit to one and I keep bouncing around. But that's fine in its own way.
Yeah.
And,
I can't get my head around anyone wanting to play a single stick shooter on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have agreed with you had I not fallen in love with Metroid Prime back in the day. And then I was like, you know what?
Yeah. Well, but everybody liked GoldenEye too, and I'm just like,
well,
never liked that.
the big difference between GoldenEye and Metroid Prime that really made it fine is the lock-on button. So it was just fundamentally not a game about aiming.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because once you're locked on, then you can completely just worry about maneuvering and jumping and not worry about aiming at all.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that one.
Thank you so much for giving me that one.
Another game I never played because I didn't have a GameCube.
Now we just need Metroid Prime 2 remastered. And I'll pay $40 for it again because I'm a fucking
Was there
idiot.
any visual updates to the Pikmin and Pikmin 2 thing on Switch?
I only looked at screenshots, but it looked the same.
Okay.
And Diablo. I was playing.
Oh, you were playing the new Diablo?
No, I was playing the original
4?
Diablo.
Oh, the original Diablo.
Yeah, because...
These are leading questions. I already knew this.
I know. 2 reasons for playing the original Diablo. 1, I like it and I never finished it, so I want to finish it. But also 2, don't feel great still about supporting Blizzard. So any reason to not give them new money seems like a good idea to me.
I've also heard mixed things about Diablo 4.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Such as...
Oh, some people saying it's really good, and some people saying it's not good.
Okay, that's pretty mixed.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
see what
mixed.
you're saying now about the mixed things. Okay.
My cousin Ted likes it.
Yeah.
Ted said that it's a lot less like Diablo 3 and a lot more like Diablo 2. But I never played Diablo 2, so I don't know what that means. I've only ever played Diablo 3.
That's interesting. I mean, it's one of those situations where like if you described them on paper, they would sound like identical games, but like the differences are all in the details, so like the execution.
Right. Sure. Yeah, I have no idea what it means to be like Diablo 2.
That's interesting. Now I need to play it and like see, do I agree that it's like Diablo 2, or am I going to be like, what the hell was Ted talking about?
I don't know.
TED Talk.
Time will tell.
Oh my god, what if Ted gave a TED Talk and it's his TED Talk with someone named Ted? It's Ted's TED Talk.
That's funny. That's
Holy
funny.
shit.
They should do that. That's
oh
funny.
my god, someone get Ted to do that. Oh my god.
But what if it's a TEDx talk and he has to change his name to TEDx?
Oh, that fucking sucks.
That would suck
actually
so
no.
hard.
If it's TEDx, forget the whole thing.
Even if he changes his name to TEDx?
No. It's it's dishonorable to be involved with TEDx. You bring shame upon your family if you talk at TEDx, actually.
It's funny how, like, TED Talks, I feel like TED Talks have been a joke for so long. It's funny that, like, in 2007 or whatever, TED Talks seemed like an important part of culture.
Yeah, the TED Talks really had a moment.
And it just fizzled.
And obviously, I think we can look back and say that was probably because TED Talks were never as good as we thought that they were.
Oh yeah, they were not good.
But also, I was giving it pretty hard to TEDx a second ago, but I really think it was like the let's start doing 100 more TED events every year thing that ruined TED Talks, because they started just literally letting anyone say anything.
Right. It started, the business stopped being about having a thing that was like kind of an event and started being about like, how many of these videos can we put up?
How many wackos can we put on stage to talk for 90 seconds about their kooky opinions?
Yeah, I can't remember like a good TED Talk. I just remember that they were kind of everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember one TED Talk. My favorite TED Talk was one that was called How to Tie Your Shoes. And I was like, what's this, a metaphor? And
that sounds like TEDx to me.
And he's like, no, seriously, everyone ties their shoes like this, but it's wrong. You're supposed to do it the other. You're just supposed to do it backwards, and it's a way better knot. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And I was like, my mind is fucking blown.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And then I watched it, and I was like, that's already the way that I do this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't want to do a granny knot, especially because then it puts the loops in the wrong direction. You have that thing where, like, the loops...
Yeah, they go vertical.
They run with the length of your shoe, and you're like, no, you're supposed to be to the sides. This isn't the cultural accepted look of what shoelaces look like. That's because you're using the wrong knot. You use the right knot, they'll be the right way.
Yeah, I tried to do it backwards because it was like, I think it might have even been you that introduced this to me and was like, everyone's tying their shoes backwards.
Yeah.
You got to tie your shoe the other way. And so I did it, and I was like, this is not right. It's totally stuck vertical, and it's really easy to untie. And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, I was doing it the right way. Okay, cool. Hey, I learned from Blue's Clues. That's how I learned how to tie my shoes.
Oh, wow. Well, I was too old for Blue's Clues, so I guess I missed it.
Wow. Spent no time at all with Steve.
Oh, no, not true. I actually spent a lot of time with Steve, but I spent it being like, I'm a little too old for this show. The kids that are in the room with me watching this show, they're so much dumber than me because I'm older than them. I was so smart.
And what did Steve say?
He was like, it's male! Or, you'd be like, oh my God, male! And they do a whole thing.
Yeah. And you're like, Steve, you're not listening to me. I just said I'm too old for this. I don't need a song about male to get the mail.
Bring back the salt and pepper shakers.
I'm 9.
Where's
Steve?
Baby Paprika?
Baby Paprika's probably...
See, I know about Baby Paprika.
Got kids of her own now.
I've seen Blue's Clues. So really, I lied when I was like, I was too old for Blue's Clues, like, to imply that I missed it, because I didn't miss it. I saw a bunch of it.
But you had a younger sister that was not too old for Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Steve Burns.
Wow.
Who suddenly became the world's baldest man. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
Time to quit TV.
And then Steve's cousin came
Cousin Joe, because Steve went off to college.
Jeez. Really?
That was the thing. Yeah, he says, I'm going off to college.
Did you and I ever discuss how Ringo's character left Shining Time Station?
Starr?
Yeah. Wait, no. George Carlin's character, and then Ringo replaced him. Which one was first? Ringo was first. Cheryl is saying in the back. Ringo was first.
Yeah, I was a George Carlin era Shining Time Station watcher. So I don't really remember the Ringo era.
We just dug into this and discovered it.
That's good. Good that you dug into this.
Oh yeah, trust me. This is the kind of shit. This is all Cheryl. Cheryl's like, let's watch. She's watching Theodore Tugboat. Yeah. she's like, let's watch these fucking train shows. Anyway, but Ringo's character, he was the conductor.
They do make TV for adults.
I know. Wait, sorry. Keith says they make TV for adults. Did you hear about that?
I don't want it.
She doesn't want it. She doesn't want it, folks.
Okay.
She doesn't want it. And that's fine. Everyone has their own thing.
Yep. And you have her thing now too.
Well, I wouldn't say I have the thing. I would say I'm there at the same time.
Sure.
But so we learned that we must have just seen a YouTube video that was like Ringo conductor leaves Shining Time Station, and it is like, I fucking shit you not. It's like, I have to go to the North Pole and help
join the Beatles.
I have to go to the North Pole and help Santa. So my cousin, a different conductor, will be here instead.
Me American cousin.
He goes to the North Pole, Keith. He moves to the North Pole to live with Santa Claus. That's where Ringo goes.
I guess it's interesting. I find this very normal. I think that's a very normal thing to do. So this is not.
Okay.
I mean, if I've heard it once, I've heard it 100 times. Maybe this is like a Rhode Island thing. But yeah, people quit their job, move to the North Pole, and help Santa.
Oh yeah. They call milkshakes cabinets. And they retire to the North Pole. A lot of people in New England retire south to Florida. People from Rhode Island, they retire north to the pole.
Yeah, they go very north.
Did you? But I finally heard one other human bring up the cabinets thing.
Oh yeah.
But I believe they suggested, and this sounds way more convincing. They suggested that the origin of the term is just a new anglicization of carbonate.
Milkshakes aren't carbonated.
Well, but okay, and they're being used for like malts, I think, which are carbonated.
No, this is your classic case of someone having a sort of reasonable sounding colloquial answer for something that is much more easily explained by language is stupid and slang is meaningless.
No, I mean, it's just impossible that it's because you kept the machine in the cabinets. They didn't do that. You keep the machine out because people are ordering them all day. It literally makes no fucking sense. There's absolutely no way that the term cabinet is because they kept blenders in the cabinet. It is fucking impossible.
Looking it up.
Look it up.
Okay, eater.com agrees with me. Wikipedia, of course I know, agrees with me.
And what does ear.com say? And what
Eater.com.
is ear.com?
Eater.com.
Oh,
Eater.com.
Eater.com. I don't fucking
Eater, I
trust
believe,
them.
is a New England food magazine, but maybe I'm wrong, and it's just that they happen to have local they have like local verticals or something. I don't know. Okay.
Listen,
What
I'm
is
not
a
doubting
coffee
that people
cabinet?
think this is where it came from. I just doubt that it's true.
Dana Haydick from 2016. For some, a coffee cabinet is a thing, a place to store beans, machines, other coffee accoutrements. But for Rhode Islanders, a coffee cabinet is a beverage similar to a milkshake. It's made from 3 simple ingredients: ice cream, milk, and coffee syrup, aka literally a milkshake. That's exactly what a milkshake is. I might call it a frap if you catch me on a Massachusettsy day.
Sure.
One of Rhode Island's most famous coffee syrup producers is Autocrat, a local company. Autocrat, they the makers of the coffee milk coffee syrup. We love.
Autocrat coffee syrup, famous to Keith and I for the one time I saw it in the supermarket and was like, that's funny, and sent him a picture.
And I knew exactly what it was.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they're like super famous locally in New England, but specifically in Rhode Island for being the coffee milk syrup.
Okay.
Yeah. Did we not? We must have talked about this. Or there's no way that you sent me that and I was like, That's so funny. I have no idea what that is because I've known about autocraft for years.
Maybe I didn't properly communicate that I hadn't heard of it, and you just assumed I already knew about it.
Yeah.
It was also like 12 years ago.
Rhode Island has a large population of Italian immigrants who introduced coffee syrup, a concentrated mixture of coffee water and sugar, to the area decades ago. It's generally thought that the coffee cabinet evolved from coffee milk, the state's official drink, which is a combination of milk and coffee syrup. The coffee cabinet pushes the beverage just a touch further with the addition of ice cream. Why is it called a cabinet? While the rest of New England refers to what most Americans call a milkshake as a frap, that's pronounced frap, not frappe. I will say that is maybe the like most meaningless thing that makes me so mad, so mad, is hearing people call frap a frappy or a frappe. It makes me extremely upset when I hear that. I will not apologize. I know that it's irrational. Yep. I know that sometimes people don't know how things are called. Come on, give it a fucking second.
If I have to listen to people from Oregon get mad about people saying Oregon Trail, you guys have to listen to us be mad about people not saying frap correctly.
Right. Or calling a frap is calling something that isn't a frap.
Now the McDonald's has completely fucked up this whole situation because they have a coffee drink that isn't a frap called a frappe, and now we have utter chaos.
Yeah. I would like maybe to get like to become an old man who gets a part-time job as an ice cream scoop or something, and getting upset at everyone who comes in and orders a frappe. It's called a frap. Call it a frap and I'll get you one.
Yeah. It's the guy, the old guy who makes the best fraps in the world, but won't serve it to you if you try to ask for a milkshake.
I'll tell you this. I make the best fraps in the world. I have years of experience.
Oh my God, are you sure? I thought I'm sure.
I make the best fraps in the world.
Oh, what do you do?
I just do all the proportions really good.
But how do you make it? What do you put in there?
19 ounces of ice cream.
What kind?
It depends on the frap.
Flavor.
Well, it depends on the frap.
Well, what are you going for most of the time?
Okay.
What? You got 100 different fraps you're drinking?
Sweet cream.
Sweet cream. Okay.
Sweet cream ice cream.
Oh. Okay.
And then vanilla syrup. You don't need vanilla ice cream because you got vanilla syrup. It's too much vanilla otherwise. So you get sweet cream ice cream, 2 ounces of milk, 1 or 1.5 ounces of syrup, depending on like how strong your syrup is, because syrups are different. And then you blend it up. I think I also like an extra ounce of ice cream to make it nice and thick. That's all you need, extra ounce.
Okay.
And if you're crazy, pinch of salt.
Whoa, you're crazy.
Pinch of salt. Yeah, gram of salt.
Yeah.
1 gram of salt.
All right. Now, that all sounded pretty good, except for all the parts where you said vanilla instead of chocolate. That part I didn't really follow, but...
Yeah, I tried to ask you what flavor you wanted, and you said no. You made me choose.
Oh, I didn't hear you ask.
I said, what flavor, like 6 times.
What?
Yeah. You were like, well, what flavor are you getting? And I'm like, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. What flavor?
Well, all right. Sorry. Go back. I want chocolate.
Okay. 19 or 20, if you want it thick, ounces of chocolate ice cream.
I want it thick.
20 ounces of chocolate ice cream. 2 ounces of milk. 1.5 ounces of chocolate syrup.
Wow.
Or you could have 1 ounce of chocolate syrup and 1 ounce of hot fudge.
My mom used to put ice in the fraps.
That's psychotic. That's the thing that a lunatic does.
Like put just like ice cubes in the blender, like on the bottom. But you know what?
Yeah.
It was really good though. And now I'm thinking, like, that's a 0-calorie way to thicken a frap if you think about it.
No,
it'll
be
chunks
thick for
of
a second.
Ice. Little chunks of ice.
For a second, but that'll melt.
That's true.
Like quickly. It'll melt first, and then it'll become watery.
I'm hearing this.
Yeah.
Well, but the ice cream is also so cold. Blender generates heat.
And ice cream is like full of stuff to prevent it from melting. Just just chemically, it is more stable than a tiny shard of ice.
The older I get, the more I like just plain chocolate ice cream.
I've never been really a fan of just plain chocolate ice cream, although I do enjoy it occasionally.
Every time I have it, I'm just like, wow, this is it.
Wow.
Like, what are we fucking around with, like, peanut butter cups and chocolate chunks and brownie swirls? What the fuck are we doing? It's just this. Chocolate ice cream.
While the rest of New England refers to what most Americans call a milkshake as a frap, Rhode Island calls its version a cabinet. Rumor has it the beverage is thusly named because blenders used to make the drink were often stored in cabinets.
Rumor has it. Rumor has it.
I've never heard any other explanation until today.
Listen, I think it makes so much more sense that it started with calling carbonates cabinets, because that's how a person from New England would say carbonate. Like, they'd literally be like, give me a cabinet. And then over time, that word erroneously got moved onto milkshakes, and then people stopped drinking carbonates, and no one could remember why milkshakes were called cabinets. That's my theory. That's my own pet theory.
Yeah,
you want to go down to the spa, get a cabinet?
The only source that I can see that's calling it a carbonate is a deleted Reddit post.
Oh my God.
It's the only source that I can find.
Holy shit. Nah, that's so shameful. That is literally more shameful than if you found 0 hits.
Yeah. I first investigated this about 10 to 15 years ago when I lived there because as an editor, the curious dialecticisms of Rhode Island long fascinated me. It also seems to just run in my family. My father was part of a global urban myth research clearinghouse before Snopes came along. I want to know the story behind things. I wanted to know why Rhode Islanders say bubbler instead of drinking fountain. I also say bubbler.
Yeah.
A manufacturer on the east shore of Wisconsin had an aerating drinking fountain under the name Bubbler and negotiated a deal to install a whole lot of them in Rhode Island around the same time. The same is true in parts of Australia much more recently, but a completely different company is involved, and it's probably coincidental.
See, that is a perfect example. If you ask anyone why it's called a bubbler, they will give you an answer, and it won't always be the same answer, but they'll give you an answer. And literally nobody knows, except this person, because they dug into it, that it was because of a brand name called Bubbler. I just learned that.
I also just learned that.
So people actually don't know where the fuck their terms come from, is my point.
Right, but you are supposing that just because you got new information, that makes it more correct. And that to you, it being more believable.
Well, no, I mean, I never thought it sounded believable, the cabinet story. I was like, that sounds like utter bullshit.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But you can't determine what actually happened in the world based on what your opinion of what sounds more reasonable is. So you got new information and just assumed that it's correct because it's new. Because it just confirms your belief that the other story is unbelievable.
But the other story is so obviously total bullshit and completely made up in the same way. So how is it any more believable?
Well, I'm just saying that you're using as evidence that the cabinet thing is wrong.
That's why I called it a pet theory.
I'm just saying that if you're saying people don't know where their terms come from, you know, the person who said the carbonate thing might also not know where their terms come from.
That's true.
The ice cream cabinet or refrigerated case where ice cream is stored is consistent with usage of the period for similar constructions. The word cabinet is still commonly used in the food service industry for similar under-counter storage areas that are insulated and refrigerated. As armchair etymology, I only considered an interesting hypothesis with no obvious problems. So this person says there's no obvious problem with the cabinet theory, my cabinet theory. But the testimony of old-timers to this seals it to me as probably true. A parallel hypothesis that cabinet in this... so maybe this person doesn't like this. A parallel hypothesis that cabinet in this usage started as a phonetic distortion of carbonate suffers from a few problems, including lack of testimony. Well, it sounds plausible, as carbonate does indeed sound a bit like cabinet, the word, especially with the accent, which he notes.
With the accent, it's literally identical.
Right. The word cabinet, he's noting here the accent the whole time, but I've forgotten how to pronounce this word, so I'm not just saying it. Aerotic, I believe, is the where you're not saying the R. I think it's the aerotic carbonate does indeed sound a bit like cabinet.
Erotic. Ooh, sounds erotic.
The word carbonate is rarely used by itself, so it's unlikely that confusion would result. In the 15 years I lived in Rhode Island, the sometimes outrageous accent there in its several variations did cause a good deal of confusion. Car keys sounding like khakis, barn fire sounds like bonfire, etc. I never once noted even one case of those two words being confused, and I think the reason is that carbonate is almost never used outside of any context that wouldn't make it obvious.
This is stupid. This person's trying to find like a modern use of carbonate, but it's not used modernly. We don't say that word anymore, so it's kind of a moot point.
What he's saying is that he has testimony from old timers in Rhode Island saying like, yeah, we called it a cabinet because it was in the cabinet, and saying that those people don't exist, saying, yeah, we called it a cabinet because it was like carbonate.
But he's saying like there's nothing called a carbonate that could be confused for a milkshake, but they're basing that on modern times. In the past, there was a drink called a carbonate, so it is totally possible that it would get confused for a milkshake.
Right, but don't you think? But what he's saying is that there's people that are alive.
No, we're talking about two separate things. These are two separate sentiments. So. He's noting that there's only testimony for the testimony. There's only testament for the first thing, but he's saying erroneously, the other theory doesn't make sense because there's no word called carbonate. There's nothing called a carbonate that could be confused for a milkshake, which is incorrect.
Okay, is that correct?
What?
I mean, I'm just taking your word for it that people are ordering in the past or ordering carbonates. And that's never a slang for a soda drink that I've heard. So what is your evidence that that's true?
What's my evidence for that was the term for a drink?
Yeah.
I just know that it was. Like it's just already a fact.
People don't know where their terms come from.
It was just a fact I knew already. Like, it's what, it's like what people say in like period pieces and stuff, because it's a thing that used to exist that doesn't exist anymore.
There's a lot of old-timey slangs for sodas, but I've never heard of carbonate.
Well, because the carbonate is like, it was like a thing, I believe it was like a kind of like a fountain mixed drink thing. It was like, I assume it's basically the same as soda, but it was like stuff they were making like on the fly rather than like something that came in a bottle or something. I don't fucking know.
I mean, I'm looking for it in lists of slangs and stuff, and I'm not seeing it.
All right, whatever.
I mean, I'm saying I can't, if I can't take him for a fact that there's no way that someone would be saying carbonate like that, I also can't take you for a fact that's saying that people did, unless I got to see something else. Are you looking?
Yeah, I'm looking for stuff. It's hard to find something because carbonate is the same spelling and it's a verb that everyone's talking about because everyone's trying to carbonate their own water at home.
Well, that's why I started looking specifically at archaic names for soft drinks.
Okay.
8 old-timey names for a soft drink: soft beer, soda dope, tonic, bottled drink, cold drink, soda water, belly wash.
All right.
Tonic is the one that we said around here.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. They definitely said tonic.
That's the sort of thing where I'm like, well, I know they called it tonic. So when did they call it carbonate?
It's because carbonates were something else. They weren't tonic. They were a different thing that we don't have anymore, is my point.
I'll edit this out, or you can, whatever.
Yeah, let's just cut all of it out.
Not all of it, just the searching.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, here's a big list.
Big list.
Common soda jerk lingo. This is where it would be if it was anywhere. A baby is a glass of milk. A black is a cola. A bottom is ice cream in a drink. A brown is root beer. A bucket of is several ingredients combined.
A bucket of.
Cha is chocolate. Chicago is pineapple juice or soda. Concrete is a milkshake so thick it can be turned upside down and not drim. Cow juice is milk. Crash is cookie crumbs. Draw one is coffee. Draw one from the south is strong coffee. Dust is malted milk powder. Egg cream is a chocolate soda with a dash of milk. Fizz is a scoop of sherbet or sorbet. A floater is a glass of malted milk with a scoop of ice cream.
Wait. Say that again?
A floater is a glass of malted milk with a scoop of ice cream.
Sorry.
A 41 is lemonade. A freak is orange flavored soda.
What?
Hang a draw is a glass of root beer.
These are all very silly.
Yeah.
I'll like call grandma tomorrow and ask her, and she'll probably be like, "No, you stupid idiot."
What, call her about what?
Like,
about old soda
there
drink
used
words?
to be drinks called carbonates.
Yeah. So there's definitely like there's definitely a word that I'm not remembering that is like a soda fountain soda that I can't a phosphate. That's what I'm thinking of, a phosphate.
Ah! Oh my god, what if I'm thinking of phosphate?
I think you might be thinking of phosphate.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking of this whole time, is a phosphate.
Wait.
So I've been trying to be like, I've never fucking heard of anybody calling anything a carbonate before. And I know a lot of these words, but I couldn't think of the one word that I'm like, are you thinking of phosphate? But I think definitely phosphate. Which is
Phosphate soda.
it is a beverage from the 1870s. They were made with fruit flavorings, egg, malt, or wine. They were served at soda fountains, and they were made with phosphoric acid.
Wow.
Including Coca-Cola, which is phosphate.
A picture of a soda jerk. Look at him.
Wow. This fucking guy's, you can tell he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole.
He's a fucking asshole.
Oh my god, that guy, those YouTube videos of the guy with a crow where he's like, yeah, he's a dick, but he's not a total asshole. He was saying this of his bird as the bird was like trying to eat his ear.
Yeah, I kept biting him, yeah. So this is my contention.
All right.
That I'm agreeing with this guy. No one is saying you could confuse carbonate and cabinet, but that no one is saying, no one is ordering a cabinet, or sorry, no one is ordering a carbonate.
Give me a cabinet.
And if they are, and then got a milkshake, they'd be upset about it because that's not what.
Yeah.
Because it's not carbonated.
Yeah.
So like that's like this huge leap that like I don't see the connection to. I
hear you.
Yeah.
Though I think I feel like there are lots of examples of this kind of thing where like some, or you know what, like joint and spliff in America, like those terms literally just got swapped and they don't make sense anymore. Why is a joint a joint? It's only one kind of thing. It's not joint anything, but we call it that, you know?
Yeah. So, and I also think that you were saying that this person was like ignoring the history that where people might have said carbonate to mean like a carbonated beverage or something.
And now I seem to be completely wrong about that.
That's that. But I also think that this is just a tense confusion. This is a Reddit post. I think they say is when they meant like are.
Oh wait, shit! This
has been.
This is the Reddit post.
That's what I told you. Yeah, this is the Reddit post.
I never would have gone this far down this road if I knew this was the Reddit post. I thought I made my feelings clear on that at the beginning.
I was reading it to you because I thought that this person agreed to you because it's the only person in this Reddit thread that has any argument about why it's called cabinet with the carbonate explanation. So I thought that they agreed with you because they were the only person that brought it up. And then it ended up that they actually agreed with me. So I haven't actually been able to find a source of someone agreeing with the carbonate thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is one. I just couldn't. I found like 4 that all agreed with me plus a Reddit post. But this person at least lived in Rhode Island for 15 years and did do intentional research on trying to figure it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll never know. And all we can do is be glad that we burnt 25 minutes on this conversation.
Kyle will never know. I'm satisfied. It's cabinet because of cabinets.
It's cabinet.
It has to be. It just has to be. There's no other cabinets. It's cabinet because of cabinets. Yeah.
It's so funny now when I hear the word cabinet, it sounds like carbonate, but in a New England accent.
Yeah. Yeah, you've introduced that to me.
Yeah,
so
I've
I'm
incepted
happy.
that into my brain, and now I'm hearing it.
This is interesting. Another hypothesis. So I'm confused because at first it seems that this is what an ice cream cabinet. So this is maybe this person agrees with neither of us. I had always heard that the blender was what was kept in a cabinet.
Yeah.
They're saying that no, that what they believe is that the ice cream freezer itself was what was called a cabinet.
Yeah.
Which to me is not a meaningful difference from what I had always heard. I don't care if that's what's true and that it's not that the blender is kept in the cabinet. I don't really care.
Yeah. It's not that meaningful, but it does make it even harder to understand why that name would get applied to a milkshake.
Well, if you're at a soda jerk that makes milkshakes and the only time that they open the ice cream cabinet is to get a scoop of ice cream for a milkshake.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is what they say about the blender thing. Another hypothesis is that the blender was kept in a cabinet, plausible as it is on its face, which you disagree with. There's no reason it can't be true, after all. It suffers from the fact that besides lack of contemporary testimony, it seems highly arbitrary. Why wouldn't it be called a blender, for example, which would seem to be more obvious? But again, this is my whole thing of like, slang is just it totally is arbitrary. I mean, there's nothing about slang that is like intentional. It is like a mole.
Well,
it just reaches for the nearest thing.
I think it's kind of a
grows.
stretch to call this slang. It's more like
what else is
a
it?
regionalism.
It's slang.
It's
regional slang.
I guess, but
yeah, it's slang.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm crazy for a second there. Never mind.
Yeah,
I guess it is slang, but slang isn't totally arbitrary. It can be,
sure.
but it's
totally
not
arbitrary,
always. It often isn't. In fact, I would say it usually isn't.
I don't know. I think it is as close as you can get to totally arbitrary. It's totally, because it's not just about like what someone would say. It also like is like what catches on. I mean, it's totally arbitrary. It's like totally random.
Well, I mean, it's the slang terms that catch on are often the ones that kind of capture people's imaginations. But the reason that they capture people's imaginations is because they're not completely arbitrary, that there's actually like an angle to it that makes sense and is clever.
I don't know. I think that the slang that catches on a lot of times just whatever makes people laugh. It gets your friends to say it, and then their friends laugh, and then they say it.
That could happen.
So So it doesn't even have, so it just doesn't have to be
And then
like meaningful.
they
It
tell two
only just has
friends,
to make a group
and
of
they
idiots
tell
laugh.
two friends.
Yeah.
And they tell two friends.
And then all
they
of a sudden
tell
the
their
whole
friends.
country saying cabinet.
If only.
In consideration of all the evidence I've seen so far, I feel strongly that the ice cream milkshake took on the name Cabinet in and around Rhode Island as a shortened form of cabinet milkshake taken from the freezer cabinet under the soda fountain in the early 20th century drugstores and spas where ice cream was stored. As an extra freebie, they still used thick shake or similar stems from the time when people still ordered milkshakes without ice cream, uncommon now. And the one with ice cream was obviously thicker. This usage seems to have taken hold in most of the country outside New England, where we were busy calling them fraps and cabinets, I guess.
Yeah, like to me, and I don't know how many New Englanders would even agree with me on this, but to me, it's like I guess technically a milkshake doesn't need to have ice cream to be a milkshake.
Correct. Yeah,
But a frap
there was
does.
a place.
A frap
there was
needs
a
to have
place.
ice cream.
There was a place. I can't remember the name of right now, but it was like the nice ice cream place that was slightly farther away when I was growing up. And they, for a while, had the very aggressive move of if you ordered a milkshake, they would give you a shaken drink of milk and syrup, and that's it. To be like,
Cool.
well, if you wanted a frap, you should have said frap. Which I hate, but I also
Yeah,
love.
no, see, the guy we like is the friendly old guy who makes you say frap before he gives you one, not
Right,
the
instead of
people that
tricking you into having the
literally
wrong thing.
serve you the thing you didn't want.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's funny. This person says egg cream is not a New England drink and is not very well known outside of its area of origin in Brooklyn, New York. That's bizarre. I've always heard. I've known about egg cream since Hey Arnold, which is a show that takes place in New York. But when I did work at an ice cream place when I was a teenager, we sold egg creams.
Oh, I've literally never heard of them from anyone except John Hodgman. Like, to me, it
really?
could literally be a thing he made up in his crazy brain.
We've talked about egg creams on probably going back to Complex Rockets.
I think it only came up because of John Hodgman.
No, it came up because I served them at the job that I had at the time.
What, now, was that the job when you worked at a Starbucks inside of a Barnes & Noble?
No, that was years before that. I worked at JP Licks, the Jamaica Plain-based small chain.
It's fine. I was setting you up to correct me, but you didn't.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I had my head in reality.
Wait,
not
yeah,
in the
sorry.
joke.
Wasn't that when you worked at a Starbucks that was inside of Barnes & Noble?
Sorry, it was a Barnes & Noble cafe that sold licensed Starbucks coffee. You absolute buffoon.
Oh, shit. I feel so stupid now. I will take these shitty scones, though.
Egg creams I do not find to be pleasant.
Did you sell shitty scones at the Barnes & Noble cafe that sold Starbucks coffee?
We did. They were, honestly, the scones were okay.
All right.
We sold better scones at JP Licks.
Makes sense. I've lived down the street from a JP Licks for like 3 years now. I still haven't gone there.
Go get their coffee Oreo ice cream. It's really good.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Or get a coffee Oreo frap.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great. Honestly, they're still open. Go do it now.
Yeah. Oh, shit. It's getting late. Oh,
it's 10
fuck.
p.m.
It's getting late.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Hey, can we, we can't call this a podcast because this was garbage, but can we pause and continue recording on a day that's not tomorrow because you're not available tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. Let's
Are
take.
you working tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
I'm
maybe I
working
could do it
tomorrow.
like in the early afternoon, but yeah, that's fine.
We could
Hey,
do.
you want me
we-
to call you tomorrow
Yeah.
while you're on your route?
Yeah, we
and
can do a call
we
cast.
can put a call cast at the end of this.
Or-
We can put this out as a podcast.
Oh, I thought we were gonna go to break and come back with a continue recording, but on a different day.
We can, but I just, if we put this out, it wouldn't be our worst ever podcast.
No. It's just, I don't feel satisfied with it. It's just not done yet.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It's just
Okay.
not done yet.
Yeah, it's been an hour and 40 minutes, but I bet 15 minutes of the conversation about the cabinet will get cut.
Yeah, and it would be none the worse for that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in a second.
I suffered severe trauma. Had to creep through the streets of the Ville with my llama for real. I was raised up under the dirt. I put in work till it hurt. Yes, Lord, it's work. Presented soldier style. And the world's on my shoulders now. I'll be fighting for my life on trial. Simply because my daughter has the world's warmest smell. Oh, we rolling now. Can't nobody stop me, block me, or hold me down. Clack, clack. Hi, motherfucker. Waka, waka. Bye, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Bye, motherfucker. We happen to be the veins do. Up the veins do. Ain't nothing changed, dude. Industry enemy number one. Still downtown. Underground. Dance if you need me, son.
What's on your mind this morning?
Ladies and gentlemen. That's right. No. Sleep to Brooklyn. No. Sleep to Brooklyn.
Hello. Oh, can't hear. Sorry, my bad. And let me open my old friend Audacity. Okay. Now I'm ready and recording.
I'm recording.
And I've got to back up.
I'm turning off the air conditioner with a heavy heart.
Ooh, I've got my air conditioner on. What do you say about that?
I think you should turn it off.
Can you hear it?
Well, no, but that's because we're over Discord. Who knows what your local recording sounds like?
My local recording fucking sounds sickish as hell.
You're full of shit. We better wrap this up quick because Keith is drunk on AC.
Okay, all right, hold on. Because I just put the AC in. I just want to say,
Okay.
I'm sure there's a little bit of AC noise.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that's just how microphones work. But I'm turning off the AC now, and I want an honest answer from Kylie on how much AC there was. Because the AC is on low, and it's quite far away. So I do believe it's pretty silent.
I'm nothing if not honest to a fault.
All right, let's see if you can hear me do the beep to turn it off. Did you hear that?
No, but again,
Okay.
Discord, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Hey, what's
Hey.
going on with you?
Nothing.
Hey,
That's
we're back to talk a little bit more about games. I didn't get a chance to talk about Diablo 1 that much that I've been playing recently.
Yeah, you've been playing Diablo 1.
Yeah, and that I have a special story about that today
Tell me.
related to my morning. So first let me tell you, Keith, I've been playing. I feel like a fool because I think last year I was beating my head against a wall trying to get the online working in Diablo 1 because the game's so old and it doesn't work how it's meant to anymore, and they shut down the online service, so you got to use a fan service. You got to open ports on your router, and it's a whole
gotta
mess.
open ports. What a mess.
And then you open the right ports, and it's still like, these ports aren't open. And you're like, my fucking ass, these ports aren't open. These ports are wide the
These
fuck
ports
open.
are wide open.
They couldn't be any more open, these goddamn ports.
They're gaping. These ports are gaping.
That gaping port was my favorite Dark Souls boss. It turned out I was a total fucking idiot because this whole time there was
What else is new?
Nothing. Certainly not Diablo 1. That game's old as shit at this point. There's a unofficial source port out there where they basically rebuilt the whole game to run properly on modern computers, and all you got to do is just drag and drop one file from an official install to this unofficial version, and then it's like boom, it's working. Not only is it working, they fucking added controller support. It's
Sweet.
got online, and the online is just like, it works. You know, like
That's
you just click multiplayer, and oh my gosh, you're just playing with other people.
That sounds sweet.
It's so sweet, and they even have the expansion pack that a lot of people don't even know exists. that never had online on it, and now the expansion has online. That's even functionality they didn't have before.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Get
Wowie
out of
zowie.
here.
Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
so
Get out of here.
get the
fuck outta here. What are you doing?
The
Oh, you
fuck
think you're better
outta
than me?
here. My goodness.
Oh, you think you're better than me? Got more functionality than me?
Actually, yeah, it does. It has more functionality. It's pretty good. Oh, the mod, by the way, is called Devolution X, like evolution, but it's the devil.
Oh, it's not
Devolution.
like de-evolution. It's
Yeah, first-
evolution of the devil.
First, I thought it was de-evolution, but evil, like it's an evil de-evolution. I was still like,
right,
I don't.
but that's
I
the
don't
Mario
get
Brothers movie.
Have you seen it yet?
The Mario Brothers movie? Yeah, we saw it together.
Oh no, I meant the new one.
Oh, no, that's not.
Okay.
The only Mario movie to me is the live action one starring a dead guy.
I appreciate that so much. Oh, wait, 2 dead guys. Is Dennis Hopper dead?
Dennis Hopper. Oh, Dennis Hopper's been dead for like 12 years. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Johnny Legs. You gotta
Johnny
keep
Legs
it going.
carrying the torch. You gotta keep it going.
Because you know that guy who played Toad died of an overdose 20 years ago. It has to be true. I don't know anything about that guy. The woman who played Daisy got hit by a bus. Listen, it hasn't been good for the people who starred in that movie is all I'm saying.
Yeah, a rip to Bob Hoskins, obviously.
Listen, I love Bob Hoskins. The only thing Bob Hoskins was ever wrong about was the Super Mario Brothers movie, because actually that thing
It's
fucking
great.
rules.
Well, see, now Bob Hoskins, I think, has a unique position because
Yes.
he is in the movie that is better than the Mario movie, but also looks and feels just like it, which is Brazil.
He's in Brazil.
He's in Brazil.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
no, I mean, of course he would remember it as being horrible because it was directed by a husband and wife team that were both fighting with each other and everyone on the crew the entire time, and it was a huge mess. So of course if being inside it, he'd be like, "Oh, that was awful." But actually, as a kid, I was just like, "It's actually pretty rad."
I unfortunately didn't
Everybody walk the dinosaur.
I unfortunately didn't see Brazil until after Terry Gilliam sucked.
Right.
But I mean, it's really good. It is really good.
Yeah, I got to check it out.
It is so weird. You just all of a sudden you're watching Brazil and you're like, all right, I'm watching Brazil. Okay. And then Robert De Niro shows up. And you're like, what the fuck? Is that an extremely young Robert De Niro? And it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's very weird. He shows up to be in like one scene of the movie as a cameo in 1985.
I feel like that's less special nowadays because Robert De Niro has spent the last 30 years just being in the most improbable roles.
Right. Yes, that's true. But this is when he was exclusively doing probable roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
where you look at a movie and you say, Robert De Niro's probably in this, and then he is.
Anyways, sorry to yank us back to Diablo 1, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So I've been playing Diablo 1 online via Devolution X because I enjoy it and because I wanted to, and I've never finished it, so I want to finish it. And Diablo 4 is out, but I shouldn't spend money on it, and B, I don't want to spend money on it because Blizzard's not very nice, and since whatever. Those are my reasons. I like Diablo 1 and I want to finish it.
Yeah, it's expensive, and it's also like, what are you done with Diablo 3? Have you really wrung that well dry?
Yeah, have you?
Have you?
Have you beaten it on all 19 difficulty levels?
Yeah, have you done whatever other weird thing I bet you have to do in that game?
Have you created a real item cartel? Real money item cartel?
Right.
Anyway.
Real money item. Have you created a real money item cartel?
Have you? I know they shut down the auction house, but then you just got to go black market.
Right.
Anyways,
that's what I want us to introduce illegality to my Diablo playing.
Okay. All right. So I'm playing this Diablo game. Okay.
Okay. Enough messing around. Got to get to Diablo 1.
Well, let's get to this Diablo story. Okay. Now, listen here. It's this concept was a little bit tricky for me to wrap my. Did you just fucking turn your AC on? You piece of shit.
It's not my AC. It's not. It is. The fact that you heard it means it's not my AC, and I'll tell you what it is.
I guess that's true. It's your fucking kettle.
It's my kettle, yeah.
Yeah, you bastard. Stop.
So it's just
distracted.
beeps. It's silent. I'm not distracted. I just pressed the arm
literally
button.
not silent.
It's silent except for the beep.
Do you understand that I'm trying to set a scene here? I'm trying to set the stakes for my grand opera that is what happened to me in Diablo this morning.
No,
and you're just fucking over here like a baby on a pipe organ, just pushing every button you've got, making all kinds of sounds.
I'm sorry, I didn't
Are you
understand
ready?
that.
Can you shut the fuck up for 2 seconds?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Thank
I didn't know
you.
what you were doing.
I'm all right.
I didn't know.
Okay, listen. I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't mean to take it out on you, but just sometimes you need to fucking be put in your place. That's all. Sometimes you have to be put in your place.
Hey,
and there's no one else on the call. It's just me.
Yeah.
It's me against the world.
I was just thirsty. I was still thirsty.
And you only like to drink hot water. I know that.
I only drink hot water.
Yeah.
I'm a little thirsty.
Oh man, you know what drink I got though is I went to 7-Eleven today, and I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I'll buy a Diet Coke, before aspartame gets banned for being a carcinogen, but in the soda they had 12 packs of Baja Blast, and when it's there you got to get it. You know what I mean?
Oh, when it's there, you got to get it.
So that's what I got going on. I've got Baja Blast in the
Baja
fridge.
Blast. There's something not quite right about it.
Okay, but
Do you know
nice.
what?
I like it.
Do you know what you really have to get when you find it at the store?
What?
Moxie.
Oh my god. Sure.
Yeah, get some Moxie at the store. Go to the Stop and
Okay.
Shop. Get some
All right.
Moxie. What? We like Moxie. This is a Moxie. This is a Moxie.
Oh
a pro
yeah.
Moxie
I mean,
podcast.
ever since they crumpled to the pressures of modernity and changed the recipe, Moxie's tasted
claim
great.
that they didn't change the recipe.
I know what they claim, but they're fucking full of shit.
It's distinctly different. You can't say it's not distinctly different.
It's Moxie-gate. We're in Moxie-gate. Moxie's lying. And I don't know who they're putting in their basements, but I think we should go check it out.
I just think that we aged 5 years between when we first tried Moxie and when we first liked Moxie.
I just don't believe it.
Coca-Cola says that there are no changes to the formula.
Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
They're lying too.
Why would they lie?
They don't even sell us the same formula as they sell in South America. Why would they be telling the truth about having never changed their formula?
But there's only one market for, okay, but think of it this way, right? There's one market for Moxie. If you're buying Moxie, it's almost
world.
like it's almost like a joke to Coke, right? It's like a little tiny little nothing kind of interesting little trinket.
Sure.
Why would they buy it and then ruin the market for it by changing the recipe?
Did Coke buy Moxie?
So I can't, yes, Coke bought Moxie in 2018.
No.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't. When I said they changed the recipe, I didn't mean Coke. I meant before they sold.
Cornucopia,
Sure.
or Monarch, I guess. Yeah, I everyone says that it tastes different, but no one admitted to changing it. But I don't know. I tried it between.
When you say everyone says it tastes different, are you meaning like you're finding, like,
No, just
online?
everyone has always said this. Everyone has always. We've been talking about this for years. Like I remember reading a thing years ago when we were Googling Moxie, and it was like people have switched to drinking Diet Moxie because it's a more bitter drink
Ugh.
than regular Moxie that tastes more like people remember it.
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely. There's just always people that are like, I know they changed it, but I think that they're. I think they're full of shit.
People.
Yeah, I think they're full of shit. I don't think they changed it.
All right.
Again, it's sort of like why if this is your only thing. There's 3 states in the country that drink Moxie.
Well-
only one that drinks it seriously in its main. Like, why would you fuck it up by making it sweet?
Well,
when
when-
it not being sweet is the one thing people like about it.
When you're dependent on 10 people's business to keep your beverage company going, and all those people are octogenarians that are dropping like flies, you got to do something to pick up new drinkers or you're out of business.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's definitely changed over the years. But I don't think that it's changed in the time since we first had it in
All right.
2015 to now,
Oh, well, no, probably not.
or 20.
All right.
What do you think?
Diablo 1.
Diablo 1? Wait, were we talking about Diablo 1?
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe, but we were. Okay, listen. I've been playing it online. I've been having fun with it. Okay. I don't know if this is tricky to wrap your head around or not. It was for me when I was a kid, probably not in the age of like roguelites or whatever. But the way it works when you're playing online is like your character is saved and you keep like every item that your character has, they keep it, and you bounce around from game to game that are, basically just instances of the same one town that's in Diablo 1. And every time you open a new game, it's like everything's completely fresh and brand new and re-randomized, but your character still has all their stuff.
Okay.
But once every player, like the game world, completely disappears as soon as there's no more players in the world, including all the items that are on the ground in the world.
Right.
So these
So
items
it closes there's no like state. There's no game state.
Right. There is in single player, but I don't even understand how it works because I always play multiplayer. And so these permanent items that you have on your character, if you drop them on the ground and then you leave, they're gone. They just poof away forever. And when you die, you drop your items on the ground. So when I got up this morning, and yesterday was a very hot, sunny day, as it's been all week. I've been working really hard. And yesterday I was especially bummed out because I was excited to play Diablo when I got home, but I was so tired from work that I really just couldn't do it. And I woke up in the morning and I still felt tired and shitty, and I was bummed out about this, but I was like, I have half an hour to play Diablo. I want to play half an hour of Diablo before work. And before I go any further, let me just state, for no particular reason or person, but, I think we can all appreciate that our listenership is cool, right? Everyone's cool. We're not going to go saying
cool people
anything to anybody. We've been doing this for over a decade. We've built up a relationship, right? We're good with each other. We're not going to go messing up people's employment situations for no reason.
Or blabbing our mouths.
Listen, we're not blabbing our mouths, are we? We're keeping we're keeping it in the community.
Do you want me to bleep this?
Yeah, can you bleep this whole section, please?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But okay, no. So I'm playing Diablo before work, and I'm playing by myself, and though I'm pretty far in the game though, and it's getting pretty tricky, and I accidentally die, and I drop all my stuff on the ground, and now I'm like, fuck, I have to get this stuff back before work, or the stuff's all gone.
Right.
And so I kind of get some like second tier whatever gear I can scrounge together to put on to try to wade into this enemy infested area to get my good items back. And then I end up fucking it up and dying again in a second spot. So now I have my items spread between 2 locations in this enemy infested place. And that's when like a player logs on.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get the right spot.
Okay.
I don't want you to get fired, so
right. Then a player logs on to the world who I recognize that's like been online in like other games from recent days. And I'm like, oh, thank God you're here. I need your help getting my stuff back from this level of the dungeon. And this person only speaks Russian and they don't know what I'm saying. And they just keep being like, I need plate armor. And I'm like, I can't help you with your plate armor situation.
Right.
And that person's no help at all. And so I actually ended up calling out sick from work so that I could get my items back.
Oh, okay. That's not so bad.
No, that's all. What did you think it was going to be?
I don't know.
Like
You had such a preamble.
I killed somebody before. Oh, sorry. Did I not explain? Oh, the one thing, the biggest difference between regular Diablo and Devolution X is that if you die in Devolution X, you die in real life. So I had to kill somebody to get their items.
Oh, wait. So you died twice in real life?
Yeah, I died.
I think that's grounds for calling out of work. I don't think anyone would.
That is true. I did.
Anyone would blame you for that.
I didn't technically. It's funny. I didn't technically call out sick. I called out with a personal emergency, which I guess if you think about it, it kind of was.
And you have
right?
like really bizarre priorities and make a lot of strange decisions.
Listen,
that's a personal emergency.
Listen, I'm working very hard. Devolution X is the only thing I have in my life. This was a personal emergency.
Yeah, hey, I mean, they've been working you to the bone. This is the consequence of that is sort of having your employees like snap mentally,
yeah,
and play Diablo when they shouldn't be, and then having to call out because it's like, even without this shift, I bet you worked 50 hours that week.
Oh yeah, easily, yeah,
which is outrageous.
I'm outraged about it.
I mean, I think that you work three
Look,
times more than a person should.
Wait, the only reason I might not have broken 50 hours this week is because we had Tuesday off because it was Independence Day. But other than that.
So if it was a normal week, you could miss a day and still have worked 50 hours, over 50 hours, yeah. Which is, I think, should be against the law. I think that's an illegal amount to make someone work.
I feel similarly. Yeah.
There was a period, run button.
If you want to work that much, I'm not going to stop you.
I'll stop you. I think that you should not be allowed to even make the choice. There was a period of early run button, where I was working like 80 hours a week, like between 75 and 85 hours a week. And it was just like crazy. It was just way too much.
Yeah.
I was working like 40 to 50 hours at my day job. We were doing at the time like 8 hours of run button a week.
Counting this as part of the work.
Yes, of course it's part of the work.
Okay. Well, I just thought you meant only traditional employment.
No. I was really working like because there was parts where I had two jobs too. So I was actually working like 55 to 65 hours a week, and then working like doing like 8 hours a week of run button plus editing stuff, because this was like there's a period where we go through spurts where you're editing everything and then I'm editing everything and then we're sharing it pretty evenly, and it goes back and forth like that. This was a time when I was editing that, also doing Friends of the Table and editing Friends of the Table, and I was just like literally nonstop working. It was crazy.
Probably
terrible.
Putting a lot of time in at that Starbucks that you worked at inside the Barnes & Noble.
It wasn't a Starbucks. It wasn't a Starbucks.
Jeez, I'm sorry. God.
What was it? Tell him what it was.
I thought you were serving Starbucks coffee.
We were serving Starbucks coffee.
And
I explain how that's possible.
I don't
Tell the people how it's possible. Licensed Starbucks coffee in a Barnes & Noble cafe.
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're making me so angry! I'm fucking pissed off now!
Cool. Hey, wow, I didn't know we had this option. You really slept on this. Good job. Oh, boy. Do we need to go? Is it time to go? We could go out on this, right?
Go out on this.
Or we could talk about, like, the more, like, Activision, Microsoft news. Starfield's coming out. Oh, wow. I think Keith actually fully devolved into some kind of demonic creature.
Devolution.
Devolution. Yeah, like the devil. Yeah, like the devil. Is that who you are? Are you the devil right now?
Devil something Hulk thing.
Are you the devil, or are you just a
Identity
demon?
crisis, sorry.
Like a
I can't
demi?
answer that.
Oh. Like, what are you under? NDA?
No, I don't know what I am. What
Non-demonic
am I?
agreement?
It's non-demonic agreement, so I guess I can't be a devil or a demon.
Well, my
I
understanding
don't
is...
even know who I am. I don't know why I'm here.
Okay. Wow. This got deep, actually. There's a lot of twists and turns here. I'm really glad we came back for this addendum.
Well, I live in a hole, so that's why it's deep. I live in a big, deep hole.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Can you hear it?
It's echoey.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was just you have like special vocal cords or something.
No, got a good mic setup down here.
You might
there's
just-
nothing you can do but the reverb. Natural
Yeah, I was
reverb.
gonna say you might just have like a really good plate reverb setup.
Hello! Hear that? That's real.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's real.
So are you the devil or?
No, non-demonic agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like a Hulk creature, rage monster. I don't know. I don't think it's Judeo-Christian. I don't think it is.
Well, I mean, a lot of people would say that, Satan and the devil is kind of just like a collection of inversions of like pagan worship. It's almost like
No, devil's real.
oh.
Yeah, if you go down further, you can see hell. You can see
He's
real
down
hell.
there. You're
Yeah,
just
he's down there.
okay. He's just not you though.
Yeah, if you go downstairs, you can see the top of hell.
Do you know him? You ever met him?
I know him. No, he's got 24/7 security, and I heard he's a prick, and he's just someone that you avoid. And
Okay,
even if you
well-
wanted to see him, you couldn't.
Yeah, no, I just thought maybe like the Dark Lord might hang out with Rage Beasts. I don't know.
Dark Lord, prima donna, more like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is that it's kind of like a too big for his britches sort of thing?
Yeah, he's too big for his britches, and he's got big britches, so it's crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty big, probably. And he probably has special like goat-shaped britches. He's got the whole like cloven feet thing going on.
He's got cloven feet, but you can put your legs through regular pant legs with cloven feet.
Well, but I think they're also shaped. I was describing the hoof, but I thought people would imagine the rest of the goat leg attached to the goat hoof.
It's
Goat-
gotta be.
goat
It's
hoof.
gotta bend backwards like a goat leg, I guess.
Yeah, it does
So
that
the
like
knee has
reverse
to be on
bend
the other
thing.
side.
Yeah. You could probably just whack a utilikilt over that. Probably that might be what the Dark Lord does most days.
The Dark Lord might wear a kilt.
Probably, I mean, if he was gonna wear a kilt, though, definitely a utilikilt, I would say.
Well, right, he's gotta
All
have
black.
his tools.
Yeah.
He's gotta have his tools.
Well, yeah, we know that those who play with the devil's toys, not tools. Oh well, right.
You play with the horns, you get the...
Oh,
no,
yeah, you play with the
bull,
devil.
You get the horns.
You get the horns. Yeah,
Right. Play with the goat, the evil goat man.
yeah.
Get the horns.
Oh man, you're really too much. We should have you on more often.
On what?
Oh, we're recording this. This is a podcast.
Oh, podcast?
Yeah, you know about those? I assume they have those in the undergrowth. I don't
No,
want
I
to say
just
hell. You're
found
probably
I
not
live in this
in
hole.
hell proper. Were you like in the suburbs?
I just found this hole and I found the mic set up. I walked up, but no, I don't know
Oh
what
my God.
podcast is.
For all you know, you might be invading Satan's personal podcasting studio right now. Have you considered that? Do you feel safe where you are?
He's a pushover.
Okay, yeah, real paper tiger.
Paper tiger.
I see it. Okay, I get it. Well,
He's never, no, I won't
Yeah.
say it. I won't say it.
yeah, no,
I don't
no,
wanna get
it's best-
canceled. I don't want to get canceled. I won't say it. I know
Oh my
about
God.
canceling, but I don't know about
I know.
podcasts.
Ever since Elon Musk bought Twitter, it's been nothing but Satan simps just all over that thing.
Oh, he's already down here.
Yeah. He's
been down here since last year.
He's already got his plot picked out, like when you buy your place to be buried ahead of time.
Well, he had to downsize. Every couple months he comes down and they give him a smaller and smaller plot.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to just kind of run out on you.
Hold on, I unplugged my headphones. Okay, there we go.
I'm sorry to walk out right as you got your headphones on, but I think maybe we should wrap up. I don't want you to get in trouble. I know you say you're not worried, but I'm worried about you. Maybe we should get out of here, end the show. What do you think?
Yeah, I gotta go anyway. My friend, Large Robot, is making dinner, so.
Sorry, was that Mark Rover?
Large Robot?
Marge?
Large.
Large Robot.
Large Robot. Best friend of the whole world.
Like a mechanical person?
Yeah, like a mechanical person. Yeah, I have a robot friend who lives down here with me.
Okay. Are you joking with?
Beast creature, come to dinner.
Oh.
It's time to eat dinner.
I'm coming. I'm recording a podcast.
God. Wow, that's so. I'm just so happy that you found each other. You sound like you have a great thing going. Okay, well, I'm Kyle Churchill. This was the Rage Lord who lives in the underworld. And
Hi, I'm the Rage Lord who lives in the underworld. I'm not Satan, but I do know him.
No, you don't. I thought you didn't know him.
I know of him and I've seen him. And I see him at dinner and I see him eating.
Okay,
and
I'm really.
He cavorts. He's cavorting.
I am starting to be slightly more doubtful of your validity, but we do have to go though.
Okay, so I'm the Rage Monster.
I'm the Large Robot. Sorry that we didn't get to talk.
Okay.
Beast, come to dinner.
Okay,
Yes, it's like a 4-person podcast now. Keith is gonna be so pissed about this.
I mean, I'm just along for the ride. I'm just listening in.
You've been here this whole time?
Yeah, I heard the beast and I got scared.
Scared? You got scared? I didn't do anything scary.
Oh my god. This is exactly what I was afraid of. He's a rage beast.
You were afraid of the rage beast getting offended? You weren't afraid of the rage beast like eating us and going crazy?
He's literally a fucking rage beast. Well, he's not Satan. I mean, he's a dick, but he's not a total asshole.
Rage beast is what I am, but it's not what I am.
Right.
It's not who I am.
It doesn't define everything about him.
It doesn't define me.
It just a lot of things about interacting with him.
We have a lot of trouble being pigeonholed by humans.
Right.
It's hard. That's why we live in the hole.
That's why we live in the hole.
Well, now I feel kind of bad.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad too. I'm sorry.
It's almost like this is all our fault now.
Yeah, I feel like we put you in this position, and I should have spoke up earlier. I shouldn't have just pretended not to be here out of fear, and should have gotten to know you guys.
I didn't even know the robot was here most of the time.
Well, I was making dinner, so it's
that's
fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna go anyway. You're
Okay.
actually keeping me. It's actually you that's hindering what
Yeah,
I'm trying
okay.
to do.
All right.
I'm
Yeah.
trying
No,
to get
you
out
guys.
of here.
Yeah, you guys go have dinner. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I actually don't even remember how the fuck this happened, how we got into contact with you at all. So I'd be totally happy if you guys just left right now.
It's okay. We're just having
Yeah.
cave loads
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
again.
No, you just and good luck with that. Are they?
Yeah, I think they're gone.
Well, I have no idea where to end the podcast now.
It sounds like I'm laughing, but I'm crying out of fear and adrenaline.
You laughing. That was the end just now. It just ended there.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Hey, let's clap just for fun. 3, 2, 1. All right. Good job, everybody. All 4 of us. We did a fantastic job.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yep.
thanks.
Thank you guys. We'll reach out to you via email if next time we want to have you guys on or whatever.
I didn't even get a turn.
No, I know. Yeah, well, maybe we'll have you on separately.
All my
I know
scenes
that.
were cut. This
Yeah.
is bogus.
I think the Rage Beast was a little bit kind of like it kind of stole the scene every time, I think.
He always steals the scene. He's the worst.
Oh, well,
Little robot's the worst. Shut up.
wait. There's 2 robots now?
You didn't even notice. I'm little robot. Large robot is my older acquaintance. Yes, no relation. I wouldn't be related to this bitch.
This is like one of those fan fictions that like their only narrative device is introducing new characters.
No, it's not. This is real. This isn't like a fan fiction. This is happening.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm clicking the stop button on my recording now.
Okay. Me too.